welcome to this deep dive
Oh, cool.
into the world of Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
We're going to be exploring some excerpts from his book,
Right?
12 Rules for Life.
Yeah.
And
I've heard a lot about this book.
have you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's supposed to be pretty popular.
it is pretty popular. It's
I mean, he's a pretty popular guy, so I guess that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it delves into psychology,
Oh,
meaning
yeah.
responsibility,
Mhm.
and believe it or not, lobsters.
Lobsters.
Lobsters. Yeah. So
Okay.
buckle up. This will be a wild ride.
All right, I'm ready.
Done
So
it.
what's so interesting about this Peterson guy? I mean, like, why lobsters?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, one of the things that's really striking about Peterson is this
Yeah.
knack he has for weaving these seemingly unrelated topics into this coherent narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I can see that.
he can discuss profound philosophical ideas
Okay.
with the same ease that you or I would comment on the weather.
Yeah, like, it's no big deal.
Like, it's just, yeah, exactly. It's like small talk, you know?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So have you read a lot of his work?
I've read some of 12 Rules for Life,
Okay.
and I've looked at Maps of Meaning. Maps
Mhm.
of Meaning is a lot more
Dense, I bet.
dense, yeah, a lot more academic.
Yeah.
A
Probably a little harder to get through.
little bit, yeah, it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I've heard it's like the foundation for a lot of this stuff, though.
Yeah.
Like 12 Rules kind of builds on that.
exactly, and this 12 Rules is really like
Okay.
the more accessible entry point
Gotcha.
into his work.
Yeah.
You know, and
So, like, why is it so popular, though?
why is it so popular?
Yeah.
You know, I've heard.
Besides the lobsters.
Yeah, besides the lobsters.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that his university lectures are absolutely packed.
Oh, wow.
People love to hear this guy talk.
Really?
Yeah, they say he's just this master storyteller. He can blend, you know, scientific analysis
Mm-hmm.
with personal anecdotes,
Yeah.
with mythology,
Oh, wow.
religious texts.
Interesting.
It's really
So it's not just, like, dry psychology stuff?
no,
Yeah.
not at all.
Okay.
It's very much.
So, like, what kind of stuff does he talk about?
Well, he tackles these universal human experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
he talks about our struggles with the unknown,
Mm-hmm.
that constant dance between chaos and order that
Yeah.
we all kind of navigate.
That's something I think about a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that
Yeah.
he doesn't shy away from shaking up some of the conventional thinking,
Oh, really?
especially
Well,
especially when it comes to millennials.
Oh, interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, some of his critiques of the dominant teachings
Mm,
that he sees millennials encountering are
yeah.
pretty sharp.
Really?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I am a millennial, so I'm curious to hear what he has to say.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he seems to be questioning this modern day emphasis on happiness as like
Oh, okay.
the ultimate goal.
Okay.
He quotes Alexander Solzhenitsyn,
Mm-hmm.
who argued after enduring the horrors of the Soviet gulags that
Yeah.
the pursuit of happiness
Mm-hmm.
kind of crumbles when confronted with real suffering.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I can see that.
it's pretty sobering thought, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah. It kind of makes you think.
It does.
Yeah?
It makes you realize that life isn't always
Yeah.
smooth sailing.
Not at all.
But Peterson doesn't strike me as a pessimist.
No, not really.
Does he strike you as a pessimist?
No, he seems more like
Yeah.
a realist, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just seems to be saying that, look,
What's he saying?
life is going to throw some curveballs.
Yeah.
You know,
You got to be ready for it.
you got to be ready for it. And that true meaning is found
Okay.
not in avoiding suffering, but in developing character,
Okay.
in confronting and overcoming these challenges.
Yeah.
You know-
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
And one of the most
Go ahead.
fundamental challenges he points to
Yeah.
is navigating social hierarchies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you might be surprised to hear that
Yeah.
he uses lobsters to illustrate this.
Lobsters, really?
Lobsters.
I
yeah.
know. It's,
What do lobsters have to do with social hierarchies?
well, it's kind of a curious choice, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But
Okay.
he highlights the fact that
Okay.
lobsters, like humans,
Yeah.
live within these dominance hierarchies.
Okay. So like the alpha lobster is at the
Yeah.
top.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is kind of below.
Yeah, we have that too.
We do.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is that their brains,
A lobster's brain.
yeah, a lobster's brain
Wow.
physically change
Really?
based on their social standing.
Oh, wow. So like,
If they get demoted,
yeah, if a lobster's defeated.
their brain changes.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It develops what he calls a subordinate's brain.
A subordinate's brain.
Yeah.
So, like, it physically changes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
I mean, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by a subordinate's brain?
Well, so understanding this lobster dynamic,
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
helps you recognize similar patterns in your own life.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever felt your confidence shrink
Mm-hmm.
after a social setback?
Oh, yeah. All the time. Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe you even started doubting your abilities?
Yeah, definitely.
That's your subordinate brain kicking in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, like a primal instinct.
The primal instinct, exactly.
Oh, wow.
And it really highlights how these social experiences can impact us,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mentally, physically.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
We're not immune to the forces of nature.
Even, our complex societies.
So, like, even though we live in this modern world,
Yeah.
we still have these, like, primal instincts
Yeah,
that are kind of governing our behavior.
exactly.
Wow.
We're all part of this
Mhm.
brand.
So then, are hierarchies a bad thing?
Was that what he's saying?
That's a great question, and that's a really important nuance
Okay.
to pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
Peterson is not advocating for
Okay.
ruthless competition or social Darwinism.
Okay, good.
He's simply
Mhm.
pointing out the reality of hierarchies
Okay.
across various domains,
Mm-hmm.
lobsters to humans.
Okay.
You can even look at the distribution of wealth.
Oh, interesting.
Think about Price's law and the Pareto distribution,
Mm-hmm.
where
I'm not familiar with those.
it's this idea that
Yes.
a small percentage
Yeah.
contributes to the majority
Right.
of the output or resources.
Gotcha. So like the 80-20 rule?
Yeah, exactly like the 80-20 rule.
Okay.
These are examples of natural hierarchies.
So he's saying it happens everywhere,
Yeah,
not just with people.
pretty much.
That's
It's a pretty
Interesting.
it's a pretty fundamental pattern, I think,
Mhm.
you see throughout nature.
So then just because hierarchies exist doesn't mean they can't change,
Like
right?
picking up on
Like they're not fixed.
another important nuance.
Okay.
Peterson emphasizes that nature is both dynamic and conservative.
Oh, okay.
Things change,
Yeah.
but they also build upon what came before.
Mm-hmm.
And to illustrate this, he quotes Mark Twain.
Okay.
It's not what we don't know that gets us in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we know for sure that just ain't so.
That's a good quote.
What do you make of that?
Well, I guess it means that
Yeah.
we need to be open to new information,
Mhm.
and not just cling to our beliefs
Yeah.
if they're not true.
Especially when those beliefs don't align with reality. Be willing to change your mind.
Be willing to change your mind.
Yeah.
Be flexible in our thinking.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I can see that.
Peterson brings up this Taoist concept of yin and yang,
Oh, yin and yang. Yeah. Okay.
the interplay of chaos and order.
Mm-hmm.
Nature
Okay.
is constantly shifting between these forces,
Yeah.
and we as humans have to learn to navigate both.
So it's about finding the balance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finding that balance.
Okay.
You know?
Does he give any examples of that?
Yeah, well, he talks about
Like how to find that balance?
how to find that balance. Yeah, he talks about how, we've all experienced moments when
Yeah.
things feel unpredictable.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And it can be stressful.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, our brains
Yeah.
evolved in an environment that was vastly different
Mm-hmm.
from the one we live in today.
That's true. Yeah.
So when we face
Things have changed a lot.
things have changed a lot. Yeah.
When we face uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
our ancient stress response kicks in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's why we get stressed.
Yeah. That's why we use stress.
Yeah.
It can be helpful in short bursts,
Mm-hmm.
but that chronic stress
Yeah.
can wreak havoc on our minds and bodies.
Yeah, for sure.
He really delves into...
Does he talk about
Sure.
addiction at all?
He does. He talks about the dangers of positive feedback loops,
Oh, okay.
especially with things like addiction
Yeah.
and agoraphobia.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever felt trapped in a negative cycle
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
in your own life?
Yeah. I think everybody has
Yeah.
at some point.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like procrastination,
Procrastination for sure.
anxiety,
Yeah.
even that endless scroll through social media.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels impossible to break free, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It really does.
Well, these patterns,
Yeah. What about those?
these patterns can be thought of as feedback loops.
Oh, okay.
They amplify negative experiences,
Okay.
creating this downward spiral.
So like it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like alcohol addiction, for example.
Okay.
So you get the initial euphoria,
Yeah.
right, from drinking.
Okay.
But then,
Yeah.
as that fades,
Yeah.
your body,
You feel worse.
yeah, you feel worse.
Yeah.
Your body produces toxins.
Mm-hmm.
You have withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
This pushes the person to drink more.
To feel better.
To feel better.
Yeah.
And it traps them in this vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It's like,
So it's the same with other things.
yeah, exactly. It's the same with other things.
Like drugs or...
It's the same with other things.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like the fear of having a panic attack in public
Yeah.
can lead to avoidance behaviors
Right.
that reinforce the phobia itself.
Yeah.
You know?
The more you avoid it, the worse it gets.
Exactly. Your brain learns to associate certain places with danger.
Yeah. Even if that danger is more perceived than real.
Yeah.
You know?
So like what you're saying is our thoughts can really...
Our thoughts can really...
control us.
Control us, yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us to another crucial aspect of Peterson's work.
Okay.
The importance of assertiveness
and
standing up for yourself.
Okay.
He suggests that suppressing anger and aggression can actually make you more susceptible
really?
to bullying and exploitation.
That's interesting.
No.
I would think it'd be the opposite.
Yeah. You would think it would be the opposite, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But
how does he justify that?
Well, he says, isn't there a danger in encouraging people to express their anger?
Exactly. I mean, where's the line?
Where's the line? Yeah. And how do we balance assertiveness with the need for empathy and understanding?
Right.
Because
you don't want to be a jerk either.
Or you don't want to be a jerk.
Right.
No.
Yeah. And that's...
So how do you find that balance?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Peterson acknowledges the destructive potential of anger and aggression.
Of course.
But he also highlights their positive aspects.
Oh, okay.
Anger can motivate us to fight for what we believe in, stand up against injustice. Even aggression, when channeled appropriately, can be a source of strength and resilience.
So, like, think about the, righteous anger.
Yes.
Oh.
Righteous anger.
Yeah.
Think about soldiers who experience PTSD.
Right.
They're often traumatized, not just by the violence they witnessed, but also by the realization of their own capacity for aggression. It shatters their self-image.
Yeah.
You know, the belief that they're inherently good and incapable of harming others.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's a really unsettling...
Like the shadow self.
The shadow self, yeah. It challenges our fundamental beliefs about ourselves.
So you're saying that, we all have this capacity for violence within us.
Yes.
And we need to kind of confront that.
Confront it and integrate it into our understanding of who we are.
It's not about suppressing it. It's about understanding it.
Yeah. It's okay. And this connects to his discussion of posture and perception.
Oh.
If you present yourself as defeated, shoulders slumped, head down, you're more likely to be treated as such.
Like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly, like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay. You ever notice that?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Have you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like, if I'm feeling down, I notice that people treat me differently.
Yeah, they treat you differently.
Yeah.
And even thinking about this connection between posture and perception. Have you ever felt more confident simply by changing how you carry yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody has.
And did you notice a difference in how others reacted to you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
People can kind of sense it.
Yeah. It's almost like you're sending out these signals.
Yeah, like you're broadcasting your confidence.
Yeah, you're broadcasting your confidence.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it all ties back to taking responsibility for your life.
Okay.
Peterson uses the story of this man who refuses to take anti-rejection medication.
Oh, wow.
After a kidney transplant.
Really?
As an example of self-sabotage.
Why wouldn't he take the medication?
I don't know. He just...
It doesn't make any sense.
Refuses.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like he's...
And it just highlights our tendency to avoid confronting these difficult truths.
Rejecting the help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when those truths are essential to our well-being.
It's like we'd rather cling to this familiar suffering than risk the unknown.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even if the unknown holds the potential for healing and growth. And that's
deep.
It is deep.
Yeah.
And that's precisely why Peterson emphasizes the importance of telling the truth.
Okay.
Even when it's difficult.
Yeah.
He believes that honesty, both with ourselves and others, is the foundation of a meaningful and fulfilling life.
Okay.
And this leads us to one of his most thought-provoking discussions.
Okay. What's that?
His interpretation of the Garden of Eden story.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The Garden of Eden.
I'm eager to hear your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, me too.
What's his take on this classic tale?
I'm curious.
Well, he sees it as representing the emergence of self-consciousness.
Okay.
That moment when humans became aware of good and evil, of their own vulnerability and mortality.
So like the fall of man.
Exactly, the fall of man.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. So he's connecting self-awareness to the potential for both good and evil.
Exactly.
Okay.
He argues that unlike animals who operate primarily on instinct, humans can understand and inflict pain on others.
Yeah.
Because we're aware we're aware of our own capacity for suffering.
We know what it's like to suffer.
Yeah. It's a pretty sobering thought.
It is, yeah. It's kind of a scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
Yeah.
We're the only species that can consciously choose to act in ways that cause harm.
Yeah.
Not just out of necessity, but out of malice.
Like for fun.
Or even a twisted sense of pleasure.
Yeah, like sadism.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Wow.
And that's where the concept of sacrifice comes into play.
Oh, okay.
He connects this to the biblical story of Cain and Abel, that archetypal struggle between good and evil.
Okay.
And he suggests that sacrificing something in the present, delaying gratification, can lead to greater rewards in the future.
So it's like an investment.
It is like an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
that makes sense.
It's about choosing the path of long-term fulfillment over immediate gratification.
Yeah.
And he uses the example of his own daughter's illness.
Oh, wow.
To illustrate this point.
Okay.
It's a very personal anecdote that reveals the profound nature of suffering and the importance of finding meaning in the face of adversity.
So it's about finding meaning in the struggle.
Yeah, finding meaning in the struggle.
That's powerful.
And speaking of confronting adversity, he shares an experience from his clinical practice working with a paranoid client. And he realized that honesty, even when it challenged his client's distorted worldview, was crucial in building trust and fostering genuine progress.
So it's about being honest. Even when it's hard.
Even when it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not about...
Because sometimes the truth hurts.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
Yeah.
It's not about sugarcoating things or shielding people from reality.
Yeah.
It's about creating that safe space
where
they can confront their own limitations and work towards growth.
So it's about challenging people.
Challenging them.
Yeah. Okay.
But in a...
But with compassion.
With compassion, exactly.
Yeah.
And this connects to his thoughts on the power of stories.
Oh, okay.
And how humans use narratives to make sense of the world.
Yeah, we all tell ourselves stories.
We do.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how deeply people connect?
With stories?
With characters in stories?
Yeah.
Or even with groups in competition.
Oh, yeah.
Like, think about sports fans.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they get so invested.
And their reactions to victories and defeats.
Yeah.
It's like they're experiencing it personally.
It is, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's like they're on the field.
They're on the field.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Peterson believes that.
What does he think about that?
Well, he believes that stories can reveal these profound truths about human nature, about the meaning of life. And he points to the Bible as a particularly powerful collection of stories that have shaped Western civilization for centuries.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So even if you're not religious, these ancient stories can still offer valuable insights into the human condition.
So it's about the themes, the universal themes.
The universal themes,
Okay.
Our struggles, our aspirations, the timeless questions we grapple with.
Yeah.
It's all there.
It's all in those stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this brings us to Peterson's own journey.
Okay.
Personal transformation. He talks about rejecting...
What was he before?
Well, he talks about rejecting both traditional Christianity and socialism.
Interesting.
Seeking a path grounded in his own
values.
His own values and experiences.
Oh, okay.
And it seems like...
So what did he land on?
Well, it seems like he found that path in the pursuit of meaning and aligning himself with what he calls the betterment of being.
The betterment of being.
He has this incredibly complex quote about meaning being this balance between
chaos and order.
The chaos of transformation and possibility on one hand, and the discipline of pristine order on the other, whose purpose is to produce out of the attendant chaos a new order that will be even more immaculate and capable of bringing forth a still more balanced and productive. Chaos and order.
Like a constant cycle.
Yeah, a constant cycle of like creating order out of chaos and then...
But always striving for something better.
Yeah, always striving for something better. And he views his 12 rules as a roadmap to living a more meaningful life. You know?
So like practical advice?
Practical advice. Yeah, they're not arbitrary dictates, but principles grounded in a deep understanding of
human nature.
Human nature and the nature of reality.
Right.
He draws from psychology, philosophy, mythology.
Wow.
Even biology.
So it's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And amidst all these insightful and thought-provoking ideas, Peterson doesn't shy away from delving into the darker aspects of human nature.
Oh, really?
He discusses the brutal reality of chimpanzee warfare.
Oh, wow.
How they can literally tear each other apart.
Oh, my God.
It's a stark reminder that violence and aggression aren't just human inventions, but deeply rooted.
Yeah, in our DNA.
In our evolutionary history.
Yeah.
It makes you think about...
It makes you wonder where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The roots of our own.
Like, is it nature or nurture?
Yeah. Capacity for violence.
That's a good question.
And he connects this.
Does he talk about kids at all?
He does. He connects this to the challenges of raising children. He argues that parents have a responsibility to socialize their kids. To teach them how to manage their impulses and navigate the complexities of social hierarchies.
Yeah, that's important.
You know? And he even tells this story about throwing another child off a playground structure.
Really?
For bullying his daughter.
He sounds like he's serious about this.
He is serious about it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty extreme example.
It is. Yeah.
But it highlights his belief in the importance of
setting boundaries.
Teaching children about the consequences of their actions.
So he's not messing around.
No, he's not messing around.
Yeah.
He believes that clear rules and consistent discipline create a sense of security for both children and parents.
So it's good for everybody.
Yeah. It's about guiding children towards making responsible choices and understanding the impact their actions have on others.
That's important.
Yeah. And he makes this rather striking comparison. He says that raising a poorly socialized child is like befriending someone you wouldn't recommend to your own family.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a harsh analogy.
It is.
But it emphasizes the importance of choosing our relationships wisely and surrounding ourselves with people who support our growth and make a positive contribution to the world.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And this brings us to the idea of leading by example. Peterson believes that the best way to help others is to first get our own lives in order and embody the values and virtues we want to see in the world.
To walk the walk.
Walk the walk, exactly.
Not just talk the talk.
Not just talk the talk.
And
he tells the story about his friend Chris, who struggled with addiction and this...
lack of direction.
Yeah. And Peterson realized that sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is to focus on your own...
self-improvement.
To become a source of strength and inspiration.
So lead by example.
Lead by example. You know, it's a powerful reminder.
It is.
That we can't always save people from their suffering. But we can strive to become better versions of ourselves.
Right. And inspire others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Peterson also emphasizes the importance of aiming high and setting ambitious goals that challenge us to grow.
Yeah. That's important.
He reminds us that while we may not all be equal in ability or outcome, that doesn't mean we should settle for mediocrity.
Right. We should always strive for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about finding those unique pursuits that ignite our passions and align with our values.
Okay.
True success, according to Peterson, isn't just about winning.
Okay.
It's about
the journey.
It's about the journey.
Yeah.
Constantly striving, pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones.
Okay.
And contributing something meaningful to the world.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And he also suggests that embracing gratitude can be a powerful antidote to resentment and victimhood.
Interesting.
It's about appreciating what you have. Yeah, rather than focusing on what you lack.
Instead of focusing on what you don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Good advice, right?
Yeah.
And that focus on gratitude leads us to another crucial aspect of Peterson's work.
Okay, what's that?
The importance of self-confrontation.
Self-confrontation.
Yeah.
Okay.
He believes that resentment, while often viewed as a negative emotion, can be a valuable signal.
Oh, really?
That something is amiss in our lives.
Interesting.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I've always thought of resentment as
the bad thing.
Yeah, as something to be avoided.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I can see how it could be a catalyst for change.
Maybe like a wake-up call.
Yeah, a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Peterson argues...
What does he say?
That resentment often points to one of two things. Either we're being immature. And we need to stop whining.
Right.
Or we're being subjected to some form of tyranny. And have a moral obligation to speak up.
So it's either
grow up, or fight back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that speaking up, that willingness to confront injustice requires courage.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
And he uses this powerful quote from the Bible.
Okay.
Think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Wow.
It's a reminder.
Powerful.
Yeah. That the pursuit of truth and justice sometimes requires conflict.
Yeah.
A willingness to stand up for what's right.
Yeah.
Even when it's difficult or dangerous.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And that commitment to truth-telling extends
to
our own internal lives.
Okay.
Peterson believes that we have a responsibility to be honest with ourselves, to acknowledge our flaws and shortcomings, and to work toward
becoming better
people.
Yeah. So self-improvement?
Self-improvement, yeah.
Okay.
And he tells this story about a client, Miss S.
Miss S.
Who was unsure whether she had been raped.
Oh, wow.
And he refused to confirm her suspicions.
Really?
Even though it would have been easy to do so.
Yeah.
Because he believed that she needed to confront the truth for herself.
To come to her own conclusions.
Yeah.
Okay.
However difficult that might be.
Yeah.
So
he's really big on personal responsibility.
Yeah, it's a controversial example.
It is.
But it highlights his unwavering belief in the importance of individual responsibility.
Okay.
It's not about...
It's about empowering people.
It's about empowering people.
Yeah.
To take control of their own lives.
Yeah, to find their own agency.
Yeah.
And become active participants in shaping their own destinies.
That's powerful.
It is powerful.
Yeah.
And that agency, that ability to make choices and take action is ultimately what gives our lives meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peterson
encourages us
to become aware of the stories we tell ourselves.
The stories we tell ourselves?
Yeah.
Okay.
The narratives that shape our perceptions.
Right.
And guide our behavior.
Yeah.
And he talks about how we're constantly broadcasting to the world.
Okay.
Our desire to encounter the ideal.
The ideal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we punish and reward each other.
Oh, wow.
Based on how well we align with that ideal.
Interesting.
It's a fascinating insight.
It is. The dynamics of human interaction.
Yeah, the dynamics of human interaction.
Yeah.
We're all striving towards something.
Yeah.
Whether we're conscious of it or not. And the choices we make.
Yeah.
And actions we take.
Reveal those aspirations.
Reveal those aspirations to the world.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also highlights the limitations of our perception.
Okay. So like our biases.
Our biases, yeah.
Yeah.
How we tend to focus on this narrow slice of reality while ignoring the vast interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah, it's true.
It reminds me of that famous gorilla experiment.
Oh, yeah. I've just seen that.
Where people watching a basketball game completely miss.
Yeah, the gorilla walking by.
The person in a gorilla suit walking across the court.
Yeah.
It's a powerful demonstration of how easily
We miss things.
We miss things that don't fit into our
expectations,
our preconceived notions or immediate goals.
Yeah.
We're so good at filtering out information.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem relevant.
Right.
But that filtering can also blind us
to what's important.
to important truths.
Right.
You know?
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Not just to the external world,
but also to yourself.
But also to our own internal experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he describes how we can use the reactions of others to help us stay grounded and course correct.
Yeah.
When our behavior veers off track.
Yeah. Like feedback?
Yeah, like feedback.
Okay.
It's like we're constantly engaged in this delicate dance with the world around us.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adjusting our steps based on
the feedback,
the feedback we receive.
Yeah.
That feedback can be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
You know?
And helping us grow.
In helping us become more self-aware and socially adept.
Right.
But he also warns against falling into the trap of dominance hierarchy games.
Okay.
Where conversation becomes a competition for status.
Yeah.
Rather than
instead of
genuine exchange of ideas.
Right. Yeah. Just trying to one-up each other.
Exactly. It's like we're so focused on proving our worth that we forget
to actually listen.
To actually listen and learn from each other.
Right.
You know?
That's a good point.
That kind of competitive posturing can prevent us from
having real conversations.
Yeah. Forming meaningful relationships.
Right.
And engaging in truly transformative conversations.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another crucial aspect of Peterson's work.
Okay.
His emphasis on the importance of simplifying reality.
Simplifying reality.
Yeah. Using language.
Yeah.
And careful observation to make sense of the overwhelming complexity of the world.
That makes sense.
You know, he uses this example of a woman discovering her husband's infidelity.
Oh, wow.
You know.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one. That would certainly throw your world into chaos.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything you thought you knew about your life, your relationship.
Your whole world.
Yeah, your whole world is suddenly
shattered.
Called into question.
Yeah.
It's a moment.
It's a moment
of profound disorientation.
Yeah.
A shattering of the illusion
of order
and predictability. And in those moments, it's so easy to succumb to despair.
Yeah, give up.
Give up.
Yeah.
To feel like the ground is shifting beneath our feet.
That's a good way to put it.
You know?
Yeah.
But Peterson reminds us.
What does he say?
That even in those moments of utter chaos and confusion, we still have a choice.
Okay.
We can choose to face the truth.
Okay.
To rebuild our lives.
Yeah.
On a foundation of honesty.
Yeah.
And integrity.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging those difficult truths.
Right.
Confronting the shadows.
Yeah.
Within ourselves and our relationships.
Yeah.
And having the courage to
rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
A more authentic and meaningful life.
That's good advice.
Yeah. And that honesty.
Yeah.
That willingness.
To tell the truth.
To speak the truth. Can be incredibly transformative.
Yeah.
Not just for ourselves.
Okay.
But for the world around us.
Right.
Peterson uses this example of skate stoppers.
Skate stoppers?
Yeah.
What's that?
Those little metal brackets.
Okay.
They put on ledges
to
prevent skateboarding.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he sees them as a symbol of society's tendency to overreact to perceived risks.
Okay.
You know,
so to stifle...
Yeah, to stifle creativity.
Creativity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And limit human potential.
Oh, wow. So he's saying it's like we're too afraid of risk.
We're so afraid of chaos and disorder that we create
like a sterile environment.
And uninspiring environments.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know?
Yeah.
So we need to find that balance between
order and chaos.
Yeah. Between safety and exploration.
Right, right.
You know, and he believes allowing for some risk and uncertainty is essential for fostering innovation.
Okay.
And allowing individuals
to reach their potential.
To reach their full potential.
Okay.
You know, and that risk-taking.
Yeah.
That willingness to push boundaries often involves confronting
difficult truths.
Yeah. About ourselves and the world.
Okay.
And Peterson shares stories from his own experiences. Growing up in a small town where racial tensions and social hierarchies were a constant presence.
Okay, so he's seen this firsthand.
He's seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how did that shape his views?
Well, he recounts this particularly poignant encounter with a native boy named Rene.
Rene.
It's a story that reveals the complexities of intergroup dynamics.
Okay.
The pain and misunderstandings that can arise
when people are different.
When different cultures collide.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
And it really highlights the importance of empathy. Of empathy and understanding.
Yeah. You know, communication.
Of bridging divides.
Yeah.
Through honest communication.
Okay.
And seeing the world.
From different perspectives.
From multiple perspectives.
Right.
You know?
That makes sense.
And he acknowledges...
Does he talk about gender at all?
He does. He acknowledges the challenges of navigating those divides. Yeah. Especially when power imbalances and historical injustices come into play.
That's a good point.
You know?
It's not just about
individual people.
It's about these larger systems. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He talks about the struggles of women in the legal profession.
Okay.
How they're often forced to choose.
Between work and
between family and career.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a tough choice. Facing pressures that their male counterparts rarely encounter.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
And he also challenges this notion that men are the sole beneficiaries of traditional
social structures. Okay.
He points out that marriage, for example, has become
more and more
increasingly reserved
for the wealthy.
For the wealthy.
Okay.
It suggests that
the so-called patriarchy might not be
as bad as we think,
as oppressive as some believe.
Right. That's interesting.
It makes you
question
some of the assumptions we often make about
gender
roles and social dynamics.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And he also critiques this tendency to romanticize the past. To idealize certain historical periods.
While ignoring the very real struggles and injustices
that existed.
Okay. He uses the example of the Spanish Civil War.
Okay.
Where many intellectuals, disillusioned with their own societies, flocked to Spain to fight.
For the Republicans.
For the Republican cause.
Yeah.
But their idealism often blinded them to the atrocities.
Being committed
by the Stalinist Soviets.
They're Soviets,
At the same time.
So we're fighting for one cause but ignoring another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder
that
even those who champion
noble causes
can be susceptible
to bias.
To ideological biases and blind spots.
Right.
You know? And this leads
to his critique of postmodernism.
Okay. And its emphasis on the social construction of reality.
Okay.
He argues that this philosophy, with its focus on power dynamics, and the denial
of objective truth,
is inherently nihilistic and destructive.
Okay.
You know.
So how does he
reconcile that?
Yeah. How does he define that?
Like, what does he mean by that?
Well, he sees it as undermining.
Okay.
The very foundations of knowledge and morality.
Okay.
You know, it leads to a world where everything is up for grabs and force becomes the ultimate arbiter of truth.
Might makes,
right, exactly.
Okay.
And he specifically critiques the postmodern insistence that all gender differences are socially constructed. Yeah.
So he's saying that biology...
He's saying that we can't just dismiss biology and pretend that everything is a social construct.
Everything's nurture.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sees this as
an attempt to impose a utopian vision of equality.
Right.
Regardless of the costs.
Yeah.
Or the inherent limitation.
Of human nature.
Okay. You know?
So it's like...
And we've seen...
Like a forced equality.
Yeah, forced equality.
Yeah.
You've seen...
And that can lead to problems.
Utopian impulses.
Right.
Can have...
Disastrous consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about the horrors...
Of
the Soviet gulags. And the Chinese Cultural Revolution. Yeah. You know? Those are stark examples...
It's not ideology.
...of what can happen.
Yeah.
When ideology trumps...
Reason and compassion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a reminder.
To be careful.
To be wary.
Of these grand narratives.
That promise.
To fix everything.
To solve all humanity's problems.
Right.
Because
They never do.
They never do.
Yeah.
And they often come at a steep price, sacrificing individual freedom and dignity in the name of
a collective,
some abstract collective good.
Yeah.
And that brings us
to the terrible mother.
To Peterson's discussion of the terrible mother archetype.
The terrible mother.
But yeah.
Okay.
A recurring symbol in mythology and literature.
Interesting. Okay.
The terrible mother.
What does that even mean?
Well, he connects.
It connects to the dangers of overprotection.
Overprotection.
Yeah.
Okay.
He argues that shielding children from the challenges and risks of life can actually stunt their growth and make them more vulnerable.
Oh, so it's,
in the long run.
It's like a false sense of security?
Exactly. It's like creating this bubble.
Right.
That's not...
doesn't prepare them for.
Going to last forever.
Yeah, the real world.
Yeah.
So it's about finding that balance.
Yeah, it's about finding that balance between protecting our children...
Right, allowing them to experience the world.
Giving them the freedom to...
Yeah, to learn from their mistakes.
To make mistakes.
To develop resilience.
Yeah.
And he sees this archetype.
Okay.
As representing this seductive pull towards unconsciousness.
Unconsciousness.
Yeah, towards retreating from the complexities of responsibilities of adult life.
Okay.
He even suggests that this modern obsession with safety and political correctness is in some ways a manifestation of this archetype.
Oh, so it's like we're
creating this
coddling
culture of coddling and fragility that ultimately undermines...
human potential.
Human potential.
Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective.
It is, yeah. It's like we're so afraid of getting hurt that we're not actually living.
We're not actually living. So he's not saying that safety and political correctness are inherently bad. But we need to be mindful.
Of the potential downsides.
Of potential downsides.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah, finding that balance between safety and freedom.
Yeah, that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Where
people can thrive.
Yeah. Foster individual growth and resilience.
Yeah.
Without sacrificing compassion and empathy.
Right.
And he tells the story of his own son, Julian.
Okay.
Who was this?
A toddler.
Particularly headstrong toddler.
Okay.
And he realized that trying to control every aspect of Julian's life
would backfire.
Yeah. That he needed to
give him some space.
Give him space to explore, make mistakes, and develop his own sense of agency.
Yeah.
It's about finding that delicate balance.
Yeah.
You know,
being in control and freedom.
Between guidance and freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, between protecting children from harm.
Okay.
And allowing them
to make their own choices.
To forge their own paths.
Yeah.
And that same balance
applies to us.
Applies to our own personal growth.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Peterson encourages us to embrace the challenges that life throws our way.
Yeah.
To see them as opportunities for
learning and
development.
Yeah.
Rather than as threats to our well-being.
So to reframe
our perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
See challenges as stepping stones.
Stepping stones rather than
roadblocks.
Roadblocks. Yeah.
And he tells this story about working on a construction crew.
Okay.
Where the other workers constantly tested him.
Okay.
With
insults
and pranks.
Okay. So like hazing.
Yeah, like hazing.
Okay.
And it sounds like, you know,
they're
trying to get under his skin.
Yeah. See what he's made of.
Yeah, to see how he would react.
Yeah.
And he realized that their seemingly cruel behavior was actually a way of
testing him,
assessing his character.
Yeah.
Seeing if he could
handle the pressure.
Yeah, handle the pressure.
Okay.
And contribute
to the team
meaningfully to the team.
Okay.
So it wasn't personal.
Right.
It was a test of his strength and resilience.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that sometimes what feels like adversity is actually a crucible, a forge, where our strength and resilience are tested and refined.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And he also talks about that classic Mac story.
Oh, Mac, yeah.
From the Charles Atlas advertisements.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Right. Where Mac is initially bullied.
For being skinny.
Yeah. But overcomes his weakness.
Through exercise?
Through physical training.
Yeah.
And eventually wins the respect of his tormentor.
Yeah. And gets the girl.
And the woman he admires.
Right.
It's a classic.
Tale of transformation.
Yeah. A classic tale of transformation.
Yeah.
You know?
And Peterson argues that both men and women are drawn to strength.
Strength and competence.
Competence in a partner.
In a partner.
Because,
like that.
Well, because those qualities
yeah.
signal an ability to navigate the challenges of life.
Right.
And provide for those who are dependent.
So it's about being a provider.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just about physical strength.
It's about character.
Character.
Competence.
Reliability.
The ability to take on responsibility.
Yeah. Being someone you can count on.
Being someone others can rely on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even suggests that the decline of high-paying manufacturing jobs for men has contributed to the rise of single motherhood and the concentration of marriage among the wealthy.
Wow. That's a really interesting observation. And economic.
Yeah, it makes you consider those economic factors.
It's a factor.
Yeah, that contribute to those social trends and relationship dynamics.
Yeah, because if men can't provide, then
women
you're going to have
as valuable partners.
Yeah, find other ways to provide.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And
he also critiques this notion that men have historically oppressed women.
Okay.
He points to the contributions of men.
Okay.
Like Earl Haas, who invented Tampax.
Tampax.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Gregory Goodwin Pincus, who developed the birth control pill.
Right. So these are men.
These are men who've
helped women.
Helped women. Yeah. It's like he's challenging us to look beyond these
simplistic narratives.
Of victimhood and oppression.
Right.
And to recognize
and the nuances,
the complexities of human history.
Yeah.
And the contributions
of both men and women. Yeah.
To the progress we've made.
Right. It's not so simple.
It's not so simple.
Yeah.
He uses this example of the minimal group identification phenomenon.
What's that?
Where people will favor members of their own arbitrarily assigned group.
Okay.
Even when there's no logical reason to do so.
So even if the groups are meaningless.
Yeah, it's still like a coin flip. Favor their own.
Yeah.
Wow.
Heads or tails.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're on heads, you're going to favor
the heads people.
Yeah. Even though there's no reason to.
Even though it's random.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's scary.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's a sobering reminder of how easily we can
fall into tribalism.
Yeah, fall into tribalism, dividing ourselves.
Yeah, based on
arbitrary differences.
Superficial differences.
Yeah.
And overlooking
the shared humanity.
Our shared humanity.
Yeah, we're all human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that tribalism
can lead to
that tendency to demonize those who are different.
Yeah.
Can lead to some of the most horrific acts of
genocide,
violence and cruelty.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a dark side of human nature.
It's a stark reminder of the dark side of human nature.
Yeah.
And Peterson connects this to the story
of his daughter,
Michaela, who developed this debilitating autoimmune disease at a young age.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And he describes the anguish
of watching her suffer.
Yeah. The overwhelming sense of helplessness.
Yeah.
In the face of such profound pain.
Yeah.
It forces us to confront this question.
Yeah.
That haunts so many who suffer.
Right.
Why would a loving God allow
why is there suffering?
Such pain and suffering to exist in the world?
Yeah.
That's a question.
That's a big question.
That has puzzled philosophers and theologians for centuries.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Peterson doesn't offer easy answers.
Okay.
But he suggests that our limitations, our vulnerability are what make us
capable of
love and compassion.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It's this thought-provoking idea.
It is.
Yeah. That our ability to suffer.
Our capacity for suffering
is
intertwined with our capacity for love.
Makes us human.
Yeah. Connection and meaning.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And he tells this story.
Okay.
About imagining his son Julian.
Okay.
As this invulnerable robot.
Okay.
And he realizes that such a being, while free from pain and suffering, would also be incapable of experiencing the joys and sorrows that make us human.
So it's part of the human experience.
It's part of the human experience.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's a profound insight. Into
the
paradox of human existence.
Of being human. Yeah.
Our ability to
rain.
Experience the full spectrum of human emotions.
Yeah.
Both positive and negative.
Is what makes us human.
Is what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And that connection, that sense of shared humanity is what can help us overcome the despair and nihilism that often arise.
In the face of suffering.
In the face of suffering.
Okay.
It's about
finding meaning.
Finding meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
Even in the darkest of times.
Even when things are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he uses the example of Superman.
Superman, okay. Yeah.
Who, in some iterations of the story, becomes so powerful that he loses his sense of purpose and meaning.
Because he's invincible.
Yeah, he's invincible.
Yeah.
There's no challenge.
Yeah.
You know?
Nothing to strive for.
It's like he transcends his humanity.
Right.
Becoming so godlike.
Yeah. He's not relatable anymore.
He's not relatable anymore.
Yep.
He no longer has anything to strive for.
Yeah.
No challenges to overcome.
No vulnerabilities.
No vulnerabilities to make him relatable.
Yeah.
And Peterson argues that limitations are essential for growth and meaning.
Okay.
And he uses the example
of
his daughter's experience with pain medication.
Okay.
You know, while opiate offered temporary relief, they also dulled her senses and robbed her of the ability to fully engage with life.
Wow, so it's like a trade-off.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a reminder that seeking constant comfort and avoiding all pain
can actually
diminish our capacity
for joy
and fulfillment.
Yeah.
So it's about
embracing the struggle.
Yeah, embracing the struggles of life.
Yeah.
Seeing them as opportunities for
growth and transformation.
Yeah, growth and transformation rather than as obstacles to be avoided.
Yeah. Face your fears.
Face your fears, exactly.
Yeah.
He even suggests that facing those challenges head on, even seeking them out, can be a source of profound meaning and purpose.
Okay.
He recounts this story about receiving a metaphorical pen of light.
A pen of light?
Yeah, that could write illuminated words in the darkness.
Oh, wow.
And he decides to use this pen to answer the most difficult questions he can think of.
The toughest question.
Yeah, to illuminate the path toward a more meaningful life.
Wow, that's powerful.
It's a powerful metaphor.
Yeah.
For the transformative power of
self-confrontation.
Yeah, self-confrontation.
Okay.
And the pursuit of truth.
Yeah, facing the darkness.
Facing the darkness, yeah. And that pursuit
often
involves confronting our own mortality.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acknowledging the finitude of our existence.
Okay.
The inevitability of death.
So we're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah. That's a heavy topic.
It's a heavy topic.
Yeah.
But one that I think we all have to grapple with.
Eventually.
Yeah. And Peterson cites a passage from the Bible.
Okay.
Where Jesus encourages his followers. To focus on seeking the kingdom of God.
Okay.
Rather than worrying about material needs.
So focus on what's important.
Yeah, focus on what's truly important.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a reminder that
our time is limited.
Our time on earth is limited.
Yeah.
And we should strive to live.
Yeah, in a way that
transcends our immediate desires and anxieties.
So think bigger picture.
Think bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he connects this to the Taoist concept of Wu Wei.
Wu Wei.
Yeah.
Okay.
The art of effortless action.
Effortless action?
Yeah, aligning ourselves with the natural flow of the universe.
So going with the flow.
Going with the flow.
Okay.
Yeah, letting go of
control.
Our ego-driven desires.
Right.
And focusing on
what truly matters.
What truly matters, yeah. Finding that sense of peace and purpose.
Yeah.
That transcends
the ups and downs.
The ups and downs of everyday life.
Of life. Yeah.
You know, and that brings us back to
his emphasis on responsibility.
Yeah. Another crucial aspect of Peterson's work.
Yeah.
His emphasis on personal responsibility.
Oh, okay.
And the importance of
taking ownership.
Taking ownership of our lives.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that
we have a choice.
We have the power to choose.
Yeah.
You know how we respond to the challenges that life throws our way?
It's all about how we respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he tells this story.
Okay.
About a client who's struggling with anxiety and a sense of meaninglessness.
Okay.
And Peterson realized that this client was avoiding responsibility.
For his own life.
For his own choices, yeah.
Okay.
Blaming his circumstances for his unhappiness.
Right. Playing the victim.
Playing the victim, exactly.
Okay.
And that avoidance,
that
refusal to take ownership.
It was keeping him stuck.
Was perpetuating his suffering.
Yeah.
And preventing him
from moving
forward.
Yeah.
And Peterson encouraged this client.
Yeah.
To start taking small steps.
Okay.
You know.
Like what?
To make concrete changes in his daily routine.
Okay.
That aligned with
his values
and aspirations.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
He even suggests that something as simple as
doing the dishes
can be a powerful act.
Oh, really?
Of self-discipline and self-care.
Okay.
It's about taking responsibility.
Yeah.
For the small things in our lives.
For the little things.
Yeah, so that we can
contribute to the world.
Contribute more meaningfully to the world around us.
Okay. Yeah. So it starts at home.
It starts at home. It starts with ourselves.
Yeah.
And that contribution, that striving towards
the betterment of being.
Yeah. Is ultimately what gives our lives meaning.
Okay.
Peterson reminds us that
life is hard.
Life can be incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
That we will inevitably face suffering and loss.
That's true.
But he also argues that those experiences, however painful, can be
sources of growth.
Sources of profound growth and wisdom.
Okay.
He encourages us
to confront the darkness.
To confront the worm at the core of the apple.
Oh, wow.
The inherent darkness and fragility of human existence.
Okay.
Not with despair, but with a courageous determination to create a better world.
To make things better.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about choosing
hope
over despair.
Yeah.
Action over inaction.
Yeah.
And he connects this to the biblical story
of Cain and Abel.
Yeah. Arguing that the murder of Abel
represents
the triumph of resentment and envy over love and creativity.
Right. So it's like a choice.
It's a choice.
Between good and evil. Yeah.
It's a stark reminder.
Of the consequences.
Yeah, of the destructive power.
Of those negative emotions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he challenges us
to
choose the path of Abel.
The path of good.
Yeah, to embrace the good.
Yeah.
To strive towards the light.
Even in the darkness.
Even in the face of darkness and adversity. It's a powerful message.
It is.
One that
calls us to action.
Yeah, calls us to action to become agents.
Yeah.
Of positive change.
In the world.
Yeah. And it's a message
that resonates with
Peterson's own journey.
Yeah.
Of grappling with meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. He talks about rejecting both traditional Christianity and socialism.
Right.
Seeking
his own path.
A path grounded in his own values and experience. And it seems like he's found that path.
Yeah. In this idea
that we should strive to act.
Okay.
As if our actions could tip the scales.
Toward the good.
Right.
Okay.
As if we could bring about
a heaven on earth.
A kind of heaven on earth.
Yeah.
Even if it seems absurd or impossible.
Even if it seems impossible.
What a powerful concept.
It is, yeah.
It's about choosing to believe in
the potential for good.
Yeah. Even when surrounded by
darkness and suffering.
Yeah. And that belief can be
a powerful antidote.
Yeah, a powerful antidote to nihilism, resentment.
Yeah.
The temptation to give in to
negative impulses.
Those destructive impulses that lurk within us all.
We all have them.
Yeah. It's about
cultivating hope.
Cultivating a sense of hope and purpose.
Yeah.
Even in the darkest of times.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing our power to make a positive difference.
Yeah, no matter how small.
No matter how small our actions may seem.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Peterson's work is a call to action.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
To be better.
Yeah. To strive for meaning.
Yeah.
To confront the darkness and to choose the path of light.
Yeah.
Even when it's difficult.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this has been great.
On this deep dive.
I've learned a lot.
Into the world of Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
We hope this exploration has provided you with some valuable insights.
Food for thought.
Yeah. And perhaps even
inspiration.
Some inspiration to apply these ideas to your own life.
Yeah.
Remember, if Peterson is right, and meaning is the way. What small step can you take today to make your life
a little more meaningful?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
That's the question.
Yeah.
We'll leave you with.
See ya.
Until next time.
Keep seeking.
Keep seeking.
Keep striving.
Keep striving.
And keep telling the truth.